All right, and they're off. And they're not off. Okay, looks like React had a bit of a misstep there, but is moving boldly forward nonetheless. So first thing you're going to notice, like we said, this is the English version, and Metroid Fusion, unlike many other Metroids you may have played, is a game that has a lot of text. A lot of text. And since races, as you might imagine, are real-time, not in-game time, text mashing does come into play. So both Monkey and Dan React can obviously gain or lose a lot of time depending on how efficiently they can get through the never-ending words that the computer will be spewing at Samus throughout. So right from the get-go, we see Monkey and React both doing a challenging vertical climb in the main deck, which we affectionately refer to as the climb, which involves a complex series of wall jumps. There are several alternate strats for that, but the strat which I believe Monkey saw, stream cut out briefly there, is the optimal strat. So for this first part, we're going to see them both just make their way through the main deck, just trying to have having to optimize their movement in order to try to kill the enemy in the quarantine bay and move along on their way. Okay. Forgive me for a moment, I'm having a little bit of buffering here. Alright. Sorry about that, folks. I'm back now. Anyways, just what's going on now is the computer has announced the X-Parasites are bad news. Well, we already knew that. With a name like X-Parasites, it's not like they're going to all be electricians or something. The fact of the matter is, both of them are on their way up to grab missiles, because missiles are an extremely important power-up in this game, because there are several enemies that can only be harmed with missiles, and early on, missiles are very important for maintaining fast movement. Because in Metroid Fusion, you want to be running as much as you can. Because you may notice whenever Monkey or Dan React jump, their horizontal movement is slower. So if you're trying to move side to side, you want to be running as much as possible and minimize the amount of time you spend in the air. And Monkey seems to have accidentally loaded a save state. So Monkey might opt to restart, or might just pick right up where he left off. I think that might actually be what he does here. Yep, he's just rolling with it. Monkey's just rolling with it. It's all right. Boy, this tournament just keeps getting more interesting with every passing race, doesn't it, folks? But anyways, Dan React now has the missiles, and with these powerful explosives, is on his way to fight the first boss, Arachnus. A throwback to anyone who played Metroid 2. Unlike Metroid 2, though, Arachnus does not give you the Spring Ball, just gives you Morph Ball in this case, but Arachnus also requires 15 missiles to kill, so you'll see Dan React and also Monkey when he gets back to the spot grab these 2 missile tanks along the way to give them a total of 20 missiles, which will give them 15 to deal with Arachnus and any possible tanks, and also 3 to deal with the Core X that comes out after defeating Arachnus, because the Core X can only be damaged by missiles. And the other... Well, let's talk a bit about RNG, because Dan React is facing off against one of the biggest sources of RNG in Fusion, which is eye doors. Eye doors can either shoot a beam at you or reveal their weak spot. Now, it's 50-50 chance, but there's a maximum, much like anyone's been watching and you link to the past races, you can have up to 4 beams before you get a guaranteed revealed weak spot. So it's actually possible to get either anywhere from 0 beams to 12 beams on these first 2 doors. And oh, RNG rearing its ugly head again. Dan React getting a roll. Only getting 1 roll though, so we can still try to pull it out here. And one missile hit. I think Dan React is trying to set up to get double missiles on this Core X, but not quite pulling it off. Still finishing off Arachnus, getting Morphball, and on his way down to the sectors. Meanwhile, Monkey trying to play some catch-up here. But Monkey, the more experienced runner, will probably be gaining time pretty quickly here with some more optimized movement. In fact, something you might be seeing Monkey do, which is shoot right before he lands. That's because, like I mentioned before, jumping is something you want to do only when necessary and as little as possible. So if you're trying to jump onto a higher platform, if you overjump, which is to say jump too high, you have to wait for Samus to land before you can start moving. That's slow. That wastes frames. Frames! So by shooting, Samus's standing hitbox is taller than her somersaulting hitbox, so she actually lands a few frames sooner and can start running that much faster. It's one of those little optimizations that doesn't really save noticeable time if you do it once, but over the course of a run, it adds up. And honestly, that's what Metroid Fusion is all about. Metroid Fusion is all about the little time saves, the optimizations, finding the best route through a room, and doing it and optimizing it and just doing it efficiently with few mistakes, because this game is very linear by Metroid standards. So you don't have anything you can do to like just clip through a wall or skip entire sections. It's just about doing the same route, but doing it as quickly as possible. So good movement and good execution will be the keys to victory today. Dan React saying hello to everybody's favorite saxophone, which fires missiles to break doors, just like real saxophones. and they said jazz shows were safe. No, siree, Bob. All right, Monkey has missiles and is on his way to fight Arachnus as well. Let's see if he can have some better luck with that door, and if he can get a 0 roll Arachnus, he can win back some time there. Meanwhile, React heading down into Sector 1, the first sector. Now, Sector 1 is a bit of a challenging sector for early game, because at this point, you don't have the charge beam, you don't have any beam upgrades, you just have missiles. Missiles are the only thing in your arsenal that really does a lot of damage, so you're going to use them for a lot of things. You have to use them to both 3 missiles to take out the atmospheric stabilizers, and also missiles to open the eye doors, and missiles to kill certain enemies without stopping or jumping over them, which wastes time. So missile management is of the utmost importance in Sector 1. So we're going to see, and React has 20 missiles. He opted not to grab the extra main deck missile tank. So he's going to have to take it very carefully, try to maintain a high health to have the more green drops. Meanwhile, Monkey having 2 rolls on Arachnus. That is very unfortunate. Might be able to get some time back if he gets a double. He misses the double missile on the core, though. So Monkey's unfortunately having a worse Arachnus than React here. React doing a 20 missile Sector 1, like we mentioned. Now you're going to see both these runners only get about 40 or 45 missiles throughout the course of the run. Missile count is pretty much optimized in the sense that you get only as many missiles as you need to feel comfortable. 35 is pure task optimization, but you'll see most runners get 40, some get 45. And 20 in Sector 1 is very tight. You want to maintain full health to get those green X's, so if you start taking a lot of hits or take a lot of missiles, 20 missiles will leave you sweating bullets. But React is having a very good Sector 1 so far, as far as health and missiles. Looks like he's going to be in great shape. Meanwhile, Monkey giving that last main deck navigation room conversation and on his way down to the sectors as well. Oh, Monkey actually opting to grab that main deck missile tank. So Monkey will have 25 missiles for Sector 1, which is a little bit of a safety barrier, a little bit of a safety net, gives you a bit more race comfort, and also Allows you to do a slightly faster strat in the room that you saw React jump through with all the Hornos earlier. So we're going to wait and see if Monkey does the faster missile strat in that room. Meanwhile, thankfully, React with plenty of missiles will have no trouble dealing with this eye door. Let's see how many beams he gets. Is he going to get a zero beam eye door? That is such good luck. React having excellent luck there. Just in time for the charge Core X. Now, Core X's that are beam cores have this eyeball you'll see open up there. And he gets a double right off the get-go. React playing very well right now. And he gets the sweet spot. React getting one double and a sweet spot on the Charge Core X, playing very well. Let's talk a little bit about that, though. The double missile, you may have heard me mention this a few times. Basically, the Core X's, when you shoot them once, they become invincible for a few seconds, which obviously wastes actually about 3 seconds, as it turns out. But Core X's have square hitboxes, so if you can actually manage to get it to fly into 2 missiles at the same time, or in the case of those eye cores, line up 2 missiles to fly into the eye at the same time, you skip an entire cycle of invincibility frames by hitting it twice at the same time. The timing is more generous than expected, but it takes a little bit of practice. So it's one of those tricks that requires just playing the game a lot to get good at. But over the course of the game, especially later on, considering that some Core X's require 6 missiles to kill, you can save the better part of a minute if you have very good execution on doubles. But React now has the Charge Beam, one of the most powerful weapons in this game. And Monkey, you see there doing the fast strat in that Hornet room. That is such a cool looking strat. Takes more missiles, but he has missiles to spare because he got the main deck missiles. So on top of that, so Monkey will presumably be going for 45 missiles in his run, while React seems to be going for 40. Later on, that'll make a few boss fights a little bit less stressful for Monkey, but at the same time, like we established, taking the time out to go grab those missiles does waste some time, so it's a trade-off. It really comes down to what each runner feels more comfortable doing. Monkey taking an unfortunate tumble in that room there. Normally you want to grab that ledge and then wall jump across, but just took a bit of a fall, but still in good shape, has good missile count leaving this room. And React done with Sector 1, on his way up to Sector 2, where the Charge Beam will serve him well, because the Charge Beam, let me tell you about why the Charge Beam is so good. Charge Beam actually the beam now has 3 parts. It has 2 little bullet pieces, and also a flash that you see on Samus's arm. Each of the 2 bullets fully charged will do 10 damage, and the flash does an additional 6. So compared to a missile, which does 10 damage, if you are close enough to an enemy to hit it with both bullets and the flash, you're doing 26 damage at once, which doesn't seem like a lot, but at this early point in the game, it's the best weapon you've got. They can instant kill enemies such as these Zoros you're going to see here in Sector 2, and later on it's going to allow both of our runners to take what would normally be a 5-cycle boss and turn it into a 2-cycle boss, so it's an extremely useful item. Monkey, unfortunately not having a 0 beam eye door, trying to get doubles on the eye beam door, but still gets a 1 beam. Can't complain about that. It's pretty solid. Now let's see if Monkey can get himself a double-double and gain some time back here. Gets 1 double, and the double-double. Very nicely played, Monkey. So Monkey's going to be making his way out of Sector 1 to get those last 2 stabilizers. Meanwhile, React heading into Sector 2, which is the most dangerous sector of the early game. Whereas in Sector 1, you lose time if you don't have enough missiles. In Sector 2, you just die. Because those red slugs on the walls are Zoros, and Zoros do... React crashing into it. You saw how much damage he took. Zoros do 45 damage on contact, so you run at this point in the game, you only have 1 E-tank, so running into several of them will just outright kill you. And I think I heard someone join me. NextGen, are you there?
Heard someone joined you.
I guess so. Welcome, NextGen. How are you doing?
Good. Sorry about being a bit late. Sorry about that.
No worries. We've been just having some wild shenanigans going on here in Fusion Town. You know how it is.
Yep. So obviously, have to ask, what happened to Monkey?
Well, first he started a non-zero main deck file, so he had to restart again. And then he accidentally loaded a save state right after grabbing the missiles. So he had to restart from the beginning. But he opted to just roll with it. So whether or not that's just him not wanting to slow things down, or whether or not that's just Monkey feeling that he can catch up, that remains to be seen. So I'm not sure what inspired him to decide to do that, but that's just how we're going to do it. But React having some great RNG, executing very well so far, and Monkey not too far behind, having a little bit of trouble with Arachnus, missing some doubles on cores so far. First a double on the first core, but had a good charge beam fight. So
yeah, he's actually not super far behind considering all that happened to him, I guess.
Yeah. At least it happened this early and not much later.
Yes, that would have not been good.
Yeah, Monkey, in fact, already entering Sector 2, while Dan React has the bombs, which, if I didn't mention them, it's because they're actually not that interesting in this game. They just, they break blocks, and they let you hop a little bit before you get the spring ball, which we're about to get literally off the next boss. So aside from that, they're not very interesting.
So React taking a little bit of damage there, but he's clear for the rest. I think for the rest of this part, he should be fine. There's not really any enemies he really has to worry about running into.
Yeah, even if he hits a couple of Zoros at this point, there's not very many between him and Zazabi, so he should be in good shape.
It's like, wonder if, I think React will, not sure if he'll grab this E-Tank or not.
And it looks like he is going for it.
Okay.
This is one of the...
React's probably going to be running through this with 4 E-Tanks at least.
Yeah, I expect 4. Because if it seems like, because he's also, it looks like he's setting up to do a 40 missiles as well. Monkey grabbed the main deck missiles, React did not.
Alright, 4 E-Tanks, 40 missiles, that's nice numbers.
Alright, now React facing off against Zazabi. You can get anywhere between 3 to 12 extra jumps, and React already off to a terrible start with RNG. They're getting 3 jumps in the first phase, which is the most you can get there. Oh my goodness.
Already at, I believe, a 6 jump.
Looks like it.
Not.
Oh my goodness, we're in double digits. Oh! 11 jumps.
Zazabi.
Ooh, the maximum is 12, so that's a very unfortunate number. And oh no! Oh, okay, for a moment there I thought he hadn't got enough damage on it. Misses the first double, but he sets up and gets the second double, so now he just tries to get the sweet spot, and looks good. Yeah, actually, I didn't quite talk about sweet spot real quick, so I'll mention it briefly here. When you kill a Core X in this game, it will have there's a certain spot in the room it has to fly to before you can grab it. But if you kill the Core X on top of that spot, you can just grab it immediately and save those several seconds you would lose waiting for it to just float across the room slowly. So you're going to see both of them go for as many doubles as they can get and sweet spot whenever possible, because it adds up for quite a few seconds over the course of the run.
Alright, so we see Reactors just waiting for SAX. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go over and check out what Monkey's doing here. Seems like he's mostly just going through Sector 6. He just got the bombs upgrade, so he's going to be going to fight Zazabi soon. And most of these rooms, the rooms he's in right now are fairly straightforward now. He's gotten through a lot of the bad Zoro RNG already. At this point, he's pretty much just going to have to execute really well, and he should be fine.
Denmark's actually playing pretty well, considering he had a 56 time. I have to wonder if that PB of his is current, because it seems like he's playing at I expect to be better than a 56 pace right now.
I mean, you have to consider too. A lot of runners' runs could be outdated, and a lot of runners obviously got a lot of practice in.
Yes, indeed. So that just adds all sorts of Monkey just taking a tumble there. No, that's all sorts of little folds and wrinkles and curiosities of this tournament, just making things more interesting, and I'm totally down for that.
So it's like Monkey's just about to start the Zosby fight. I don't think Monkey grabs his E-Tank. Oh, well, I guess he's going to grab that E-Tank after all.
Well, I think he's trying to get those wave core doubles later, so he has to have a little bit of extra health just in case.
That's a fair point. He's going to show off later on, so...
Well, let's see how many jumps he
He
gets.
has better RNG than React had. Well, he's off to a better start.
Yeah, he's already going to get less jumps no matter what. I'm sorry, fewer jumps no matter what. Yeah, he's Monkey's having a much better luck on Zosby here. More, somewhat.
6 jumps Zosby, that's not too bad.
Not at all.
He definitely...
Oh,
no.
Monkey. I'm disappointed.
I really don't like this last phase because it feels like it takes more damage. I don't know if it actually does, but I feel like it's much harder to actually... But he gets a double-double there, so it made up a little bit of that time.
Yeah, he uses a charge shot and a single missile in the final phase. It doesn't kill. It takes a bit more than that.
Yeah, I figured it. I always thought it was weird how it felt like it took more damage, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so Monkey's on his way out of Sector 2, but React into Sector 4, which is one of the first places where you can really just start losing time if your movement isn't good. Because if you take a tumble here, you're going to fall into the electrified water, take damage, and just lose plenty of seconds trying to get... Oh, already having a little bit of trouble moving through this room with the crabs.
Oh.
Monkey just...
Monkey trolling us a bit there. He was kind of... I was fully convinced he was going for it, considering he was behind.
I mean... Oh, gosh, Reaction, unfortunately taking a tumble there into the electrified water. This is what I'm talking about. Sector 4 is a sector that, when done quickly, looks very cool, but the movement is definitely one of those things you can't just take for granted. On top of that, they're both on their way to a boss that has been known to destroy the fun of casuals and speedrunners alike. Oh, and there's the skeleton of the boss, but don't worry, it's still alive. I'm talking about Ceres. Ceres is the fast, wiggly water worm, but thankfully, like I said before, with the charge beam, hopefully we'll see Dan and React defeat the Ceres in 2 rounds instead of the less than optimal 5.
I mean, if you want to be technical, Ceres is definitely dead. It's just the X version of Ceres is not.
Man, Action coming at me with that deep lore. First hit looks good.
I think he got that hit.
Yep, so we have to wait for Ceres to get out of its invulnerable here, and he had good positioning. Well, he knew what the next position was going to be, but couldn't get into the spot fast enough. Wasting a little bit of time here, but can... Oh! Probably going to be a 3 cycle by the looks of it.
Yeah, that pattern, I'm going to especially call out that pattern. I always struggle to land that pattern. I think it's one of the more annoying ones to get, because it kind of feels like you got it, but then...
Alright, now this core takes 5 missiles, so he just needs to get 1 double and a single. Okay, so we get 1 more double on it, that'll do the job. Doesn't quite get it, so he's probably going to try for a sweet spot here, and... Alright. React, unfortunately, having a slightly less than ideal Ceres fight, but the beast is defeated, and React has the speed booster, another extremely useful ability the game thankfully gives us early on. Oh no, but he unfortunately does not get the low height Shine Spark in this corridor, so he's going to have to go through kill these enemies manually instead of just doing the Shine Spark to the left.
Yeah, lose a bit of time on that.
This is Monkey's chance to try to gain back some time. Had a little bit of trouble in that previous room, but seems to be moving through a little bit more quickly than Dan reacted. So now we're just going to come down to see how Monkey's Ceres fight goes, and whether or not Dan React can make it out of Sector 4 optimally. There's a couple of shine sparks coming up here that are optimal, but can be a little bit tricky. So we'll see how he goes about those. Goes for the safer strat for the return spark there instead of getting a diagonal one, which is a little bit faster, but you can accidentally mess it up if you're not careful. Now he's going to try
diagonal is not always faster. In fact, the regular, just doing the shine spark right is faster if you know if you turn around at the right spot.
Oh.
But I don't believe React turned around at the right spot. He turned a little bit later than he needed to, so...
Yeah. But he did get the low height shine spark, which is the harder of the two shine sparks, so good on him for that. Monkey, meanwhile, getting his first
fight starting here.
Oh.
I believe he got the first hit.
He did. It sure looked like, and he should have positioning for it, and he gets the fast 2 cycle. Very nice. Gets the first double. Setting up for the second one here. Got it. And if he can get sweet spot here, he will. Oh, that was a very good Saris fight.
That was pretty much a perfect Saris fight, honestly. That was a really good one.
Yeah, so Monkey's definitely gaining some time back there. So this race is very much far from over.
See if Monkey gets a slow height, and he does. Getting a bit of time and React with getting that, but if he doesn't get low height, he's not going to gain as much time as he could.
We'll see. There's still a bit of movement left, and a couple of shine sparks that can go south. Meanwhile, React on his way out, heading to Sector 3. Monkey, unfortunately, firing a missile into the ground instead of into the door like he intended. And here we go, to lower the water level and try those 2 shine sparks. Alright, he runs out about as far as he needs to, no further, so good shape so far. Let's see if he can get the low height.
Gets it.
Gets it. Very nice.
Monkey slowly but steadily working on catching up a little bit here. Ooh, nice. That was good movement by that X there.
Oh yeah. If that X wants to give you a hard time, it'll just do laps and not actually join the other one. Alright, we're gonna see Dan react here. Try to set up for a horizontal shine spark, save a little bit of time versus... Oh! Curious! Oh! That's right, you can do it that way, can't you?
Yep. It's especially good if you don't want to risk messing up the spin break from the regular jump.
That's a fair point. I imagine it's a little bit slower, but it's definitely more safe if you're not comfortable with your shine spark. We're probably going to see Monkey attempt the spin break shine spark close to the ceiling. Now it's time for Sector 3, a sector that has a couple of difficult movement tricks in it, and also a boss that can just ruin your day. React looks like he didn't even try to get the shine break there. It's actually possible to crouch when you're on top of a block that you would break by running over it, and get a shine charge to go up that vertical shaft faster, but Dan React did not seem to try to get it.
Definitely a good idea if you don't feel confident in it, because if you go for it and you mess it up, you're more likely there's a good chance that how you mess it up is going to result in you having to go back and recharge the shine spark.
I think that's part of the reason why the starting point is so important, because if you have the consistent starting point, it's extremely difficult. It feels like it's extremely difficult to stop too early. You're more often not just miss it and stop late. And oh, he actually was pretty close to getting data spark there. Just missed it by a couple of frames, it looks like. But they are both in the same sector now. Dan React on his way to fight the box, while Monkey on his way to unlock the doors. Let's see if Dan React has a good fight here. Let's see, got good placement, got a few good shots in. Oh, unfortunately, a couple of missiles tinked.
Oh, I think there he didn't notice that he actually ran out.
And it's one of the dangers of playing with starting with that 20 missiles at the start, is that early on you can very much run out of missiles. Unless he decides to farm for green X's here, he's going to have to do the Shine Spark strat in Sector 6. Because he can't use... You need 3 missiles to break through the barrier in Sector 6, and he has 0.
Looks like he's either going to go for the Shine Break, or he's going for the Shine Spark trick, or he's going to just grab the missile tank.
That's always possible as well. Or he might just take a refill. Oh, he's taking the refill.
Yep.
Yeah, thankfully, this game is not so mean as to give you unwinnable situations. Just at worst, you'll lose a little bit of time. There's always something you can do depending on your comfort level and what your situation is. Monkey looks like he's setting up to try to get the data spark here. Let's see if he can get it. And he does not get it.
I believe he did the starting part correct. He was just a little late on the actual starting of the spark.
Yeah, it looked like he took a few too many steps to the left. But now let's see if Monkey can have himself a 21 missiles. He's in great shape. Let's see if he can actually make them work. That was a strong start. Oh! I think he was expecting... He miscounted the missile. He looked like he thought he was done there and just jumped down.
I thought he might have been going for the Scotty strat there, honestly.
Oh, that's also possible. Scotty being a bad influence, getting people to try risky strats.
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah, he shouldn't have needed to try and go for the charge shot there. He has plenty of missiles. I don't know why he went for that.
Yeah, the magic number is 3. You need to have 3 missiles heading down into Sector 6. And he has 1 to spare, so should be fine and dandy. But oh yeah, Monkey on the navigation room leaving Sector 3, React the navigation room entering Sector 6. Monkey has been closing the gap slowly but surely. So depending on how things go in Sector 6, with stuff like the giant Corex fight, by the end of it, we might see the two of them sync back up. We'll see. Let's see how React plays Sector 6. So as you saw, the big gimmick in Sector 6 is that there are these blue X's that at this point in the game, Samus is vulnerable to cold because lore and Metroid vaccine. So touching them will make Samus take a lot of damage. I want to say it's 60 damage. It's pretty high. But thankfully, if you take the correct path to get down to the giant Corex fight, well, there are very few of them and they're all relatively easy to avoid. So there's practically no danger. And on top of that, we have this energy tank that everybody grabs because you lose essentially 0 time grabbing it, since the bomb will still explode while you're locked in the item grab cutscene there.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact damage that Ice X's do, but it's 60 something. It's not exactly 60, but it's something from between 60 and 70.
Yeah. Well, this is how we split the difference and say 65.
Yeah, let's go with that number.
Sounds good.
Or we can just see if Monkey gets hit, but Monkey gets hit 1-1. Or I mean, Carpenter React too. There's still a few in this next room.
That's very true. And it's very easy to accidentally release one if you misfire. So let's see how. Oh no, React get that room cleanly. So I guess we'll just not know unless Monkey has a bad time. But now it's time for the giant Corex. Another chance to take advantage of the charge beam's unique properties. You're going to see React try to not pseudo-screw, but actually just jump into the giant Corex and hit it with both parts of the shot and the flash. If he does it right, the giant Corex will stay to the left of the room and will die in 4 shots.
The main reason I want to mention this, because you mentioned it but didn't explain why, the reason he is not wanting to pseudo-screw attack this enemy is because if he pseudo-screw attacks it, he'll probably make contact with one of those floating enemies behind him. and he'll take damage, and he'll do a lot less damage if he even hits the boss at all.
Yeah, the pseudo screw does some damage, but not nearly as much as the full charge shot plus flare. And not just that, but you have a little bit of a problem now. That super missile power-up that Dan, React, and Monkey grabbed in Sector 3 makes your missiles now do 50 damage, but it also adds another property. It makes it so that it takes your cooldown between shots is longer. So those double missiles that we've been talking about are actually more difficult to do because you have to learn a new timing for them. And that's going to be the case for every new missile power-up that they both grab as the game continues. So as the game continues, not only do you have to worry about the bosses and getting the doubles, but the doubles have different timings and are more difficult. Monkey having 0 beams on that eye door, though.
React actually did as well.
I thought I saw him have 1 beam. Okay, I must be remembering incorrectly.
Well, I might be, but I don't think I saw a beam.
Oh. Giant Corex getting away from both of our runners today, but it seems like they managed to recover pretty well there.
I believe Monkey got a double there.
It looks like he got a 1 double. Decided to try for the sweet spot, I think. Yep.
There he goes.
Unfortunately, on the way out of Sector 6, you have to deal with the Puffers. Puffers are among the more annoying enemies because if you shoot them, they shoot out this purple gas that is very large hitbox, so it's very difficult to avoid. I'm having a little bit of trouble climbing out in this vertical room, so it seems that they're staying about the same distance apart as they were before. Monkey didn't gain back any noticeable time in Sector 6. But he's at the very least staying right on React's tail, so at the very least the gap has not been widening.
I'm not entirely convinced he didn't gain any time over React, actually.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't gain time. I'm saying that it's not like a drastically noticeable time.
Because he was entering the boss fight not long after React had left it, which was a lot closer than he was at the end of the last sector. Which, admittedly, this sector isn't as long, but...
Yeah, and he also did get 1 double, which React I did not see get any doubles, so... It's more like I think he might have been able to gain back more, but he had some trouble in here. But he at least gained back some time. Just not that much. But now they're both on their way off to Sector 5, the cold sector, to get the missile downgrade. I mean, it's not actually a missile downgrade, but it just feels like one.
I mean, it kind of is one, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, it does more... Yeah, it does more damage, but... It doesn't have that satisfying kaboom anymore. And, well, you can't one-shot enemies with super missiles anymore, because since they freeze, it'll always take you at least 2 missiles to kill enemies.
Yeah, so, and as with every missile upgrade, it's going to be even harder for them to get doubles now, once they get the upgrade.
Yes, indeed.
So, you lose the ability to one-hit things, making you charge beam more, and you have a much harder time using doubles.
Well, the other unfortunate thing about that is since core X's take even more missiles to kill later on, it's more important to get the doubles with the later cores, but it's harder to do it, so hey, how about that? Alright, now Sector 5 has a hidden danger for speedrunners in the sense that we're going to be coming back to Sector 5 3 times and going through a lot of the same rooms as well. So it's very easy to get disoriented and forget where you're trying to go. So there's always the chance that Monkey or React could get discombobulated and maybe forget to go to the data room, or go to the data room when they're not supposed to, or just wind up skipping things. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but there's always a possibility.
Don't think we've seen it happen yet, but
I don't think so either. At least any of the races that I've seen. But it's one of those things. Even if you've played this game for several months and it's never happened, all it takes is one day where you're distracted by something, and next thing you know, you're asking yourself, "Why am I suddenly getting Adam asking me why, telling me to go place I've already been? Oh no!"
There is one good thing, is that you actually have two big visual cues that as you're leaving only occur if you actually did everything right. So if you don't spot those, that's when you need to worry.
Yep, on this first visit, that's very thankfully true. So usually at worst, you'll lose about a minute, especially if you notice early on. And meanwhile, react into the data room to pick up ice missiles.
It's like Monkey's right behind him getting the security doors.
Yeah, so he's actually less than a minute away from the data room, so he's closed the gap pretty well from the 4+ minutes at the point at which he reset early on. Interesting movement through that room, Dan React took. Normally I see folks just jump up and run across there. Oh!
Went a bit too soon.
And now Monkey into the data room, getting ice missiles for himself. Goodness, they're close enough to each other. I think we might actually wind up with an overlap in the upcoming section. You know what section I'm talking about. The second of two indicators that something is awry if you don't see them.
So the first indicator, you saw the enemy floating around in the background that makes a loud noise. Then here's the more obvious indicator.
Yes, indeed. And what an indicator it is. Now, to anyone who's been here before, I think you know exactly what to do. And anyone who's new here, just look to see what's appearing in chat and just do the same. Don't worry, you'll catch on real quick. Because it is time for the emergency in Frankersy. So thing to know about...
Monkey's still right on his tail. He's already in the red, so to speak.
That one has layers of meaning there. But emergency is a section where Monkey could very well catch up by the end of this if he has a good emergency, because emergency is actually a very challenging section movement-wise. There's a lot of ways that you can lose time or fall into lava or get knocked around by enemies. It requires clean movement and good use of missiles, because you use missiles a lot in this section. So let's see how Dan React handles it, and how Monkey handles it, because he's right behind him.
And of note is that there is a timer for this section, so if you kind of you can actually sort of judge how well you're doing as you go through it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, taking a bit slow there to avoid getting knocked off by that pillar and dodging that enemy.
Yeah, but freezing the stretches and using them as stepping stones is a very important part of this section. And this big room in particular can be very difficult if you have if you accidentally break blocks or misfire. So, Dan React taking a little bit of a safer path through there. Monkey meanwhile just barreling through. Look, oh, taking a tumble in that room.
Hopefully he'll have good RNG on the store. All right, good.
434 dirt time, not too bad. Now let's see if we can get any doubles on the I-core. 4 missiles to kill this one, so if we get a double-double, then did not get the first double. Got the second double, looks like.
Alright, 4:19:33 ending. And Monkey, not far behind him at all.
Not at all. And... Oh, the
no.
door closed! Oh, now he's getting beams!
He missed that initial jump, and that's what cost him.
If you can get a double-double here, you can gain back some time, but otherwise, his door time was less than 5 seconds apart from Dan React's, so...
Oh no, missed.
Oh gosh, I don't think he got a single double. And finishing grabbing the wide beam core 2 seconds separated from Dan React. So that's a little bit of a time gain, but again, not a very big one. So it's still closing the gap very slowly, but there's still plenty of time left in this run. So Dan React just has to keep playing well and hope the Monkey doesn't gain that time.
We are pretty much at the halfway point for the run right now as well.
And not only that, but we're coming up on a section that we often refer to as not too far from the gauntlet here, a sequence of several bosses in rapid succession, and some of those bosses can lose you a lot of time. So there's a lot that can happen in the next few minutes.
And now Monkey's at a point now where he's basically only a handful of rooms behind React.
React also took a lot of hits from the stretchies, getting out of emergency. So, oh, he's opting to take the refill. I can't say I blame him there. Yeah, thankfully, refills cost you a few seconds, but it's not a huge time loss. One of those things where, if you're that worried about your health or your missile count, then taking the refill costs you, I want to say, what, like 6 seconds maybe?
I don't know the exact amount of time it takes up, but probably goes up a little bit to the more equipment you have.
And they are both in the same dialogue now. This gap has closed that much. So Monkey and React both on the way up to the Habitation Deck to do what any good Metroid runner does, and save the animals.
Yeah, in this game, runners do not have the option of avoiding this, and the animals are a bit RNG based. People like to joke that if you save them in Super Metroid, they give you nicer RNG, but unfortunately that's not true in practice.
Hey, I've gotten fast animals multiple times, and I always save the animals in Super Metroid, alright?
Movement here isn't too bad, but there is one at the very top of, once they go up this elevator, they're going to go up soon. There's a strat that I think we'll see Monkey go for, but I don't know if we'll see Rat go for it, that's nicknamed Impossible Strat, and that's used to actually climb up to the animal shaft really quickly.
I think we might actually see, I think we're going to see React probably try and wait for the stretchies to form first, and then just jump extend across. Oh wait, he's trying to do the jump extend. So that's you got a reasonably quick backup there.
And again, Monkey's like staying not far behind him at all.
No. Oh, and React
the Shrine Spark there. So you'd probably notice that React actually stopped in a specific spot, and that was actually on purpose. Oh, Monkey messed up Impossible Strat and had to wait for that stretchy to form now.
Oh, Dan React getting slow animals. That's unfortunate. Oh, and Monkey messing up the shine break. He's gonna have to go up this shaft the intended way. Ugh, intended
too
strats.
Far to the right, and that gets a lot of runners.
Let's see if the animals are nicer to him, though. They sure aren't. I think they probably got about more or less equivalent luck in animals there, so animals trying to be a bit of an equalizer here. And now both of them are going to be heading on down to Sector 5 to pick up the loudest power-up. The power bombs. This game likes their power bombs so much that it gives you many power bombs, but not at any percent. We were just going to take our 10 starter bombs and just use that, and that's all we need.
Yeah, so one of the changes they made to this game was that major items do not count towards your item percentage, and they wanted to keep 100%, so they basically had to add new items for all the items that you would no longer have a counter for. And they also made super missiles just a missile upgrade. So between those two decisions, there are a lot of E-tanks and power bombs added to this game.
I mean, in hindsight, they could have just made it so that a power bomb tank only gives you 2 bombs instead of 5, but eh.
Monkey having a bit of trouble climbing up that room.
I wonder if Monkey's still a little bit stressing a little bit about the fact that he had lost a few minutes to start, because I've noticed that he's making he's been making a handful of small mistakes here and there. I mean, he's generally still playing well, but he's losing time in little ways.
It's definitely not something you want to let get to your head, because if you do, you have no chance of catching up. Like, that's... You're really putting your... You have to... That's one of the most difficult things in a tournament race, is just keeping your stress level low. Especially if you're knowingly behind by a good margin.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the reasons why some runners, like I know I like to do this as well, will actually just ignore the other race. Just play the best you can, just don't worry about it, just complete your run. Unfortunately, Dan React in Sector 5 tried to set up for the Shine Spark to save a little bit of time in this room and didn't quite get it. It's actually very similar to a Shine Spark we'll be seeing a little bit later, although it doesn't save nearly as much time as that one does.
Oh, we see Monkey get the Shine Spark here.
Yep. So he's going to gain a few seconds back there. And power bombs get.
Yeah, and Monkey keeping himself at about the same position.
Yes, indeed. There's a little bit more movement happening here in Sector 5 before we get out. We might see Monkey try to go for a quick strat in the vertical shaft coming up. Get a little bit of time back. Oh no! Oh boy! Oh! Oh! Dan React playing games with my heart and my blood pressure. Unfortunately, there's one thing to note about power bombs. They're very useful, but while the power bombs are shaking the screen, you cannot grab ledges. And Dan React appears to have forgotten that simple fact, and rather than just ball jumping up that gap, tried to grab the ledge, and it did not work.
That's actually why we saw Monkey do a morph jump there, was explicitly for that reason. Just because he knew he needed to do that to actually get in the hole.
Oh, he dropped the power bomb too low. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, you tried to go for the Kadoom strat, but you have to drop the power bomb a little bit higher up to break the blocks on the left side of the room. Both of them otherwise having relatively good movement coming out of Sector 5, so React maintained the lead, Monkey slowly closing in. They're almost in the same room now. But it could all change very quickly, because we are coming up on the first boss in the boss gauntlet, and one that is hated by many. Coming up on Yakuza.
So again, Monkey is definitely, looks like caught up just a tiny bit here. Going to actually be getting on the elevator pretty much right as React's leaving it.
This is getting to be a very tight race here.
Definitely not far behind each other right now.
No. The tiniest mistake or battle spat of RNG can turn this around in a heartbeat.
So fortunately, elevator power cuts out, so they have to take a little bit of a detour here.
Well, it's okay. Samus needs to get more steps on her Fitbit anyway. Oh no, Reactor having a little bit of trouble with the acid spit there. Thankfully, still getting the shine charge. If those spitting enemies hit you enough times, you just have to drop a power bomb and grab an.
Oh, Monkey's. Huh.
Curious.
I don't know if that was necessary with his missile count, though.
I guess he's opting to go for 50. Oh, is it because he wants to have enough missiles to try the wave beam doubles?
Well, he won't. No, he doesn't need to worry about that because you don't use up nearly that many missiles on that boss fight.
I don't know. Maybe he just wants to. Maybe he just wants to have a little bit of buffer for dealing with Yakuza and Notori that are both coming up.
I want to mention that was a really smart save by Monkey, because at this point, for one, it's a really convenient save because you're right there, and two, like I've seen a lot of runs, like a lot of times you're more likely probably to die towards this point of the game than you are later on.
Yeah,
and
the next
if, like,
boss...
both Monkey and React died, Monkey would have a bit of an advantage for having taken that save.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised more folks don't take that save.
I find it like at the higher level matches, it makes a. Yeah. If it's like a really close race, it makes sense why you might not want to risk it because you lose additional time. But at the same time, it's definitely, if you think you can take the time loss, it's worth it. And it's not a huge time loss anyway.
Yeah, it's less than 5 seconds. And it gives you a peace of mind, which some would say is priceless.
Yeah, definitely a good confidence builder.
But here we go. Dan React getting one beam. One beam. And in he goes to face off against Yakuza. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Oh, come on, Ador.
Opted not to fire as many missiles as I would have expected for that first phase, so let's see how many cycles he gets. If Monkey were in chat, he'd be spamming 4 cycle Yakuza here, so... 2... Alright, only 2 extra cycles there. Unfortunately, Dan React not doing enough damage to send Yakuza into phase 2, so it's going to take a little bit longer. Monkey might pull ahead here if he can finish it off.
No, because he was slightly off. This is my least favorite boss fight.
Alright, with that, Dan React into phase 2. This is very much a skill-based phase, because you have to just react to Yakuza's movements, which are very erratic. And hopefully not run out of missiles, because Dan React, as you might remember, is running on the 40 missile strat, so this is could be tricky if he runs out of missiles here. He's going to need 6 for the core. He's already at less than that, so he's going to have to hope for some green drops. Oh, no green drops. He could lose time here. This doesn't look like he's going for any doubles either. The core X could be where Monkey catches up and passes him. Oh man, Monkey took a lot of damage there. And he's not getting doubles
He needs to get that green X. I hope he's aware of that fact. Okay.
Monkey not getting doubles, but still finishing off the core faster, and Monkey has pulled ahead.
And
We
that's
did?
why you got a little bit ahead.
Okay, I must have missed that one. Thank you. So Monkey, the lead has changed. Monkey now in the lead, but React still very close behind. So the two of them are right on top of each other. Good news, we turned on the backup generator. Now we can go try to take care of this terrible weed problem we've got in our backyard here. But first, key hunters, the worst enemy in the game. Hopefully Monkey does not run into them, because I wouldn't wish key hunters on anybody.
Yeah, unfortunately, key hunters, their stingers do 137 damage if you get hit by the stinger directly. So, not fun.
Not at all. First, it's time for the most harrowing of Sax chases. Normally, it's one of those things you don't generally worry about, but if you have a little bit of trouble breaking to the floor in the next room, it can catch up to you and it can kill you. In fact, we actually did have someone die to the Sax in this very room earlier this week, in fact. So, That's the thing about the Sax. Even though its AI is a little bit dopey sometimes, the Sax is never not a threat. Even if we make it look easy, the Sax can still ruin your day if you're not careful. Monkey having a little bit of trouble with space jump there, which is understandable. The spaceship in this game is incredibly janky, but it's useful. Being able to use it well is paramount to getting double missiles on this next boss. Ooh, React doing some fancy extra shine sparking in this room. I don't think that actually saves any time, but it looks cool. Welcome to Notori, everybody. Monkey, having grabbed 2 extra missile tanks compared to React, can just pound missiles into Notori's face, and there we go. And React going to have to use some power bombs and charge shots, which will take a little bit longer.
Unable to get any doubles on that Corax, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, this is around the time where it starts getting very difficult to do doubles, because again, ice missiles have a slower cooldown than the super missiles and basic missiles, and it's a kind of a short room, so doubles in this core take quite a bit of practice to get good at. Dan React is just opting to fight it on the ground. So we at least try to get a sweet spot here. Nope. And Monkey, come on, Monkey, you know better than that. Oh wait, no, I got confused. I thought this was the first visit to Sector 2 for some reason. Never mind. Forget I said that. Go up the right side. Do it. It's fine. With power bombs, everything is possible. Both of them having a plasma beam now.
Going to be going to our last Sector 5 visit now, which is pretty straightforward. Unlike the other 2 visits, pretty easy not to get lost in this visit. Mostly because the sector looks a lot different.
Yes, indeed. Very, very different. It doesn't mean that there aren't some difficult bits, primarily the boss, which can definitely ruin your day, and a shine spark. In fact, the single longest horizontal shine spark in the game, and a very cool looking one, very costly one to miss. So we're going to see them both definitely try to set up for that on the first try here. And if I know Paul's Moorham as well as I think I do, he is spamming Nightmare Space Boost in chat right now.
I could definitely see Monkey try it, but if he isn't aware that he's got the lead back, he definitely won't go for it at all. I think he would go for it if he thought, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, we'll find out in a moment. Once he's going for the Shine Spark.
He's going for the regular Shine Spark.
And I can't blame him. There he goes. Samus doing her best impression of the Heisman Trophy right there. Going through several rooms. And if it seems like we're going very slowly through water, don't worry. This is also your hint as to what our next power-up we're getting is.
I'm just thinking about it. At least out of the one, this is the first of the 2D games really that actually force you to go. Is this the first one of the 2D games actually force you to go through water without gravity suit?
Well, Super Metroid, you can go into water, but you're not actually required to go through water before you get the gravity suit.
Right, you have the room before Phaser, or I guess, yeah.
Or if you break the tube early, but yeah, you're never required to go through water before getting gravity suit. Oh, Monkey actually opting to grab the extra E tank before Nightmare. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that, but can't say I blame him.
It's actually a smart move by Monkey. He may have noticed like he isn't playing perfectly right now, so he probably wants to have that extra buffer. Don't think he needs it, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Again,
he already, from React having taken those recharge stations, he can afford that time loss.
Yeah, but honestly, it's one of those things where the most important thing in this game as volatile as this in this category is just comfort. Comfort. Being able to just as anything that'll help you just play more relaxed, play more comfortable, is worth losing a couple of seconds. You know. Now, phase 3 of Nightmare here is a bit rough because Nightmare will chase either you or an invisible dot, and in this case, unfortunately, manages to pull it out though. Ideally, you get Nightmare to fly at you from the side, or you can just shoot horizontally out, but despite the fact that Nightmare was a little bit higher than Monkey would have liked, still manages to get the finishing blow, and let's see how Dan React deals with it. Dan React not using the missiles to supplement damage on the first 2 phases, taking a little bit longer and taking a little bit more damage, but into phase 3 nonetheless. Now, you want to see you want to see Nightmare's face get orange and drippy before... Okay. So he's in good shape now. Now let's see if Dan React can get Nightmare to line up the way he wants him. A little bit too far to the left there.
Yeah, he's dropping down too soon. He's not going back up soon enough.
Yeah, because Nightmare won't stop moving unless it's completely on screen and at certain positions, so unfortunately, I think he might have... Unless he hangs a little bit higher. Okay. Uh-oh. Might be too close. Oh! I'm gonna have to do the tango one more time. That's unfortunate.
He's staying on the ground. The main mistake React's making here is he's staying on the ground a little bit too long when Nightmare comes back around. You don't want Nightmare to get super low, because then he won't actually go into his spot.
Yeah, learning to control Nightmare is one of the first very challenging boss strats you have to learn in this game. Because it's very difficult to show someone how to do it, especially if you have even tutorial videos or the like. It's just a matter of practicing Nightmare repeatedly and getting a feel for how it moves around. But with that, Monkey and React both have the gravity suit, thank goodness. It's a good-looking suit. Monkey in Underwater Sector 4, the area with the most relaxing music. Went through it really quickly. He's already opened the level 4 doors and is on his way to diffusion missiles.
Oh, React went a little bit too low there.
Yeah, it seems that Nightmare fight seems to have restored Monkey's confidence a bit. He seems to be playing a little bit more quickly and cleanly here. Oh no. React accidentally messing up the jump there, having to go back and regain the speed.
He did.
He what now? I'm sorry?
Yeah, so I was noticing that React, he actually went a lot farther than he needed to get the speed booster back there.
Underwater Sector 4 can be a little bit dicey. Even with the gravity suit, which has the best damage reduction in the game, these enemies will do a lot of damage, especially the large fish and the Evers, the little Dragon-looking guys. They can easily eat through health. And look at this. React has already lost over 2 E-tanks worth of health. So you have to be mindful of these things because, unfortunately, the next boss does not have an eye door before it, so you have whatever health you have going into it.
There is one room before the boss that has a lot of ice X's that you can restore a ton of health. So I don't think he's not really in danger, I wouldn't say.
True. But he's also not done with Underwater Sector 4 yet, so we'll see what happens. So we'll see. Yeah, despite the fact that Samus is very powerful at this point, there's still plenty of things that can end a run coming up, so neither of them can afford to be taking it easy or getting sloppy. No.
Got trolled. Looks like React got trolled a little bit by that pirate in the previous room.
Yeah, it did.
Generally dealing with those pirates is extremely annoying because it feels like it's extremely hard to just hit them right.
Yeah. And they also move faster than you think. Like, they'll just swing back and forth, then they'll suddenly just come at you as if there's someone attached a rocket to their tail. But Monkey already heading into Sector 6 for the final time here. About to go fight the Xbox. Yeah, we hope you like that security robot from earlier, because now it's back, and it's been infected with the X-parasites. Because it's a robot that has organic components. How very Star Trek Voyager.
Thinking about all the times I've heard of that in the Metroid series, and I don't think it's ever paid off for them to actually do that.
Oh, Monkey dropping that power bomb a little bit too far to the right. Had him drop a second one.
Luckily, this game gives you no shortage of power pumps.
Are you kidding? It probably makes goodie bags for everyone who comes to the BSL that has power bombs in them. Come on now. But now they both Monkey and React have diffusion missiles, the final missile upgrade. An interesting ability that sadly the game does not do enough with. Oh, Monkey just wind sparking diagonally right there. But the thing about diffusions, which is we're gonna see Monkey. Everybody, keep your eyes on Monkey's screen for a little bit here. He's about to fight the Xbox, and Monkey has promised us doubles on the wave core here. Now, diffusion missile doubles are the hardest doubles of any missile, and wave core doubles in particular are one of those things that's technically not TAS only, but it might as well because it's extremely difficult. But Monkey says he can do them, and he did a couple in practice, so we'll see what he can do. So he can put his money where his mouth is.
We're about to find out.
Here we go. That did not look like a double.
That was definitely not a double.
That was not a double. I'm disappointed.
Unfortunately, unable to get any doubles there.
Monkey. Had one job. Had one job. I'm going to have to antagonize you about this until the end of time.
To his credit, doubles on wave core are extremely difficult.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna.
It cannot be overstated how difficult they are, honestly.
Yeah, it's not a stuff that anyone actually does. I'm not actually going to antagonize him until the end of time. That would just be unreasonable. Until the next race. Until the next race. But we're going to see React not attempt wave core doubles, but we're going to see if React can have a better Xbox fight, because Monkey had a little bit of trouble getting Xbox to cooperate, so React can gain a little bit of time back if he has a clean Xbox.
Yeah, honestly, the Xbox fight is deceptively difficult. It looks similar to the first fight, and it really is, but it is like much tighter for you to actually line yourself up properly to be able to shoot it with missiles.
Yep. I think it's because the room is a little bit shorter, which means that both the angle to hit it is more challenging because its hitbox is actually down in it. It's not actually flush with the top, so it's easy to actually accidentally tink on the legs. And also, the ceiling being lower means that when the Xbox jumps, it can knock you off into the electrified water. And it hurts. That thing hurts, even with Gravity Suit.
Yeah, so between the water and the damage it does, if you're not careful, that fight can quickly get out of control.
Yeah, it's... Despite seeming like a relatively relatively innocent fight there, it can lead to destruction. That's kind of like the rule of thumb for just Fusion as a whole. Regardless of how many times you play it or how strong Samus gets, any boss in this game can very easily end your run, so...
React missing that one missile there. Took a bit of damage because of that. Ooh.
Oof. Yeah, I think he's a little bit too far out for those. Yeah, unfortunately, not getting in the position such that rather than having the box jump, it starts running around, which puts it a little bit out of alignment from what you might be trying to set up for. Oh goodness, React just not having a good time with Xbox here.
He's definitely going, it seems like for a lot of his diagonals, with the down ones he seems to just being moving a little bit too far one way, and for the diagonals he was just a little bit too far from where he needed to be.
Yeah, I think after he got knocked off a couple of times, he was just trying to stay a little bit further out, and it was giving him some trouble, but thankfully, he seems to be dodging the wave beam, because the wave beam does a lot of damage at this point. And he's got it. Monkey, meanwhile, back in Sector 1 here, for the final eye door and the final non-final... That sounded better in my head. The point is he's heading off to the last... to be one of the last major bosses here. Oh, 0 beams, and here comes everybody's favorite shouty space lizard. To have the full effect of this, just start screaming wherever you are. Everyone else who is in the house/office with you will have the same experience you would be having if you weren't screaming and could actually hear Monkey's audio right now. Monkey, meanwhile, just showing you how... That was such a good Ridley fight.
He missed, like... Oh, and he gets a double nice. Oh, and he gets the... Oh.
Almost got the triple.
He almost had it.
Diffusion missile doubles you can't stress this enough. Diffusion missile doubles are extremely difficult. At this point, the timing window is so tight that if you get even one diffusion double on a core, congratulations, you've done great. Like, I would applaud you. And Monkey just got 2, so that's fantastic.
So React, not too far behind, about to go his way to the Ridley fight.
Yes, indeed. And we didn't mention it before, but an important property of the plasma beam, which we're taking advantage very heavily for the Ridley fight and the upcoming Sax fight, is the plasma beam does damage per frame it's inside the enemy's hitbox, as opposed to just doing damage once. So that's why you saw Monkey try to shoot diagonally through Ridley's square hitbox and follow it up with a missile to get maximum damage. And we're going to see React attempt to do the same. But React on his way now into Sector 1 to fight Ridley, and Monkey on his way towards... I mean, I wish I could say he's on his way to the final boss. I don't know, could you debate that text is the true final boss of Metroid Fusion?
I mean, you could.
I mean, I think it would be unquestionably true if the boards were RTA. But as things stand now, I don't think my argument's solid enough. We'll have to come back to that one someday.
My personal view of that is the final boss is the last enemy you fight in the game. So technically, you could argue, if it wasn't part of the run, I think you could. If it was part of the run, we had to wait till like credits or something. The time you could argue the text in Samus's ship after she kills Omega is the final boss.
Actually, isn't that what they usually do for JRTA? Like it's power on to end of credits. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's see what eye door luck happens for React. Oh, not getting that 0 beam. Oh no! 2 beams. But now it is time. Now you can all enjoy Ridley's happiness. Oh, React, okay, didn't follow it up with missiles on those first couple of hits. Uh-oh, he's been grabbed. You want to generally stay in the corner and then just wait for Ridley to show you his front. Just spinning back and forth like this, because if you get out of position, he might be with his tail, he might start pogoing, or he might grab you. And even with 4 or 5 E-tanks, Ridley, you can see how much damage Ridley is doing. And we've seen very good runners die to Ridley in this tournament so far.
Luckily it makes out the fight alright.
Yes. Let's see if he tries for any doubles. I don't know, it seems to be that
yeah, he tried to.
It seems like double missile seems to be one of something React is struggling with in this run today. I can't.
Yeah, I can't really blame. These missiles are extremely hard. Like, I wouldn't say that this is something that UC runners get consistently.
And not at all. Well, with that, both of them have the screw attack, and they are on their way. It's too bad you don't get the screw attack until so late, because in this game, it is possibly the strongest it's ever been. Alright, Monkey about to enter the main deck and react, heading into Sector 1. Unfortunately, still having to face off against the Resident Sleeper dialogue. But until then, we're just gonna have to wait and see what Monkey does.
So at this point, I would say that there is still a risk of death, because if the SAX fight goes poorly, well, things can go downhill really quickly.
Oh yes, even at this late point in the game, the SAX does a lot of damage, and not to mention, even the mighty screw attack, which makes you invulnerable to just about everything, the SAX is one of the few things that will actually knock you out of the screw attack. So, if Monkey loses control of the sax, it's still anyone's race. Not to mention even the Omega, the actual final boss, like not the true joke final boss, like the literal final boss. We've seen the Omega can definitely kill you. It does 1 E-tank of damage per swipe. So, all right, let's see how Monkey handles the final boss here. Oh, he's going for the horizontal strat. I thought he did diagonal, but I guess he's taking it a little bit safer here.
All right, easy. Now at this point, he's pretty much got the fight in the bag.
Unless
I don't think Monkey has to... Whew. For a split second there, I thought.
Alright, well unless he gets hit by the ice beam a bunch of times, because oh gosh, it does so much damage. Look at that! It's doing 110 damage for every shot of the time he gets hit by the ice beam. And he's not getting doubles either, so oof.
He got one.
Oh man.
He did. Looks like he did get one because there was 5 hits. If I didn't miscount.
But yeah, that's it's important to trying to maintain good health in that fight. Is that that ice core the ice core is one of those is surprisingly challenging if you're having trouble dodging the ice beam shots. But Monkey now less than 3 minutes away from the end, actually more like less than 2 minutes, but Dan React smashing for all he's worth, trying to get through this wall of text. Adam, please, just let me go. I have a race to win.
Unfortunately, Adam doesn't care.
Nope. Your race matters not in the face of protocol and tradition.
We'll see in a second. Monkey might actually get the low height here.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see if he can do it. Not like that, he can't.
Waited a bit too late for that.
Actually, with his hell weight is, I don't think he's going to try Pogo. I was going to say, let's see if he tries for Pogo. Nope, not like that. Not with health like that, he won't, I hope.
I wouldn't have went for it either. I don't think it's a good idea to go for it in a tourney race. An important thing to note is that Omega always swipes you and knocks you to 1 health there, no matter what your health is. But if you run into Omega, the damage you don't get knocked to 1 health. You take real damage there. So if you have like 30 health or something and run into Omega, you will die, even before he does his 1 health swipe.
And
so
Monkey...
that's a good reason not to try and go for Pogo, especially if your health's low.
Yep, Monkey getting the setup for the quick kill though, and giving Omega
that's
the business
GG.
there.
Unless Monkey's game crashes, that's GG.
Unless Monkey accidentally loads a nightmare save state.
Shut up.
Well, that's GG.
Hey, Monkey.
So, when I was typing, in the Ridley elevator, I almost hit my save state. My only other save state key that I forgot to disable, I think.
You did that done, didn't you?
Well, there's no race channel.
Yeah, there's no race channel for this one, so we also don't have an official SRL race time. So we're going to go with Monkey is our winner today with an unofficial race time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 56 seconds.
You know, the sad part is, if I didn't get 5 E-tanks and 50 missiles, and I didn't absolutely have a horrible Notori and Yakuza fight, that would have PB'd. Because that was only 3 minutes and 20 seconds behind my JP splits on English.
Ooh.
Yep, and it's a 3-minute difference, so that would have been pretty. That's a solid run, absolutely. But React.
I don't know, maybe your text matching was over 20 seconds worse. You might have got a PB.
It's not a 48 though, so it doesn't really matter.
Alright, let's see how Dan React handles the sacks. He might actually opt to just fight it on the ground, but we'll see if he tries to do the freezing strat here. He's setting up for it, let's see if he gets it. Oh, unfortunately, he's not firing the missile quickly enough, so he doesn't freeze it after hitting it with a charge shot.
His big thing he was messing up there is that he's not firing the missile after he fires the initial shot there, and that's what was causing him to get whacked around.
Yeah, and I noticed he was having he was struggling a little bit with that also on the Nightmare fight and in Ridley, so... Still managed to make relatively short work of the sacks, and should... Oh gosh, his health is so low, though. He has to be careful, though, because if he gets hit by the Ice Beam twice, he's dead.
Well, if he takes advantage of it, he's not really getting hit right now anyway, but Screw Attack makes you immune to like everything this enemy does, including its own body, so...
Yeah, but...
If you want to really cheese it out, you can just Screw Attack around it, and it drops a ton of X, so you can heal yourself up.
Well, no, yeah, I mean... I'm just saying you can't be careless. But just Omega stands between Dan React and the end of this race. So Monkey, I have to ask: when the whole thing with the Nightmare save state happened, did you even consider for a second asking for the race to restart, or did you just decide immediately, just you know what, screw it, we're just going for it?
All right.
TFW Monkey ignores you.
What? I wasn't even here. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit of a secret here. At about 20 minutes in, I really needed to pee. So like, the entire race, I almost pissed my pants a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie.
Very insightful information to give to the speed gaming community.
Hell yeah.
Don't worry.
Anyways, what was the question?
Your secret is safe with us, and like however many hundred people are watching. No, it's at the beginning when you did the accidental save state load. Did you even consider for a moment asking for a race restart, or did you just decide right from the get-go? No, just going.
No, I already made Rust restart once. I didn't want to pull it up again.
All right. React actually showing off the other quick kill strat there, doing the vertical Omega quick kill. And React is done.
GG.
GG to both of our runners. Yeah, we actually had another race where both people finished. Man.
Woo!
Already off to a better start than the last tournament.
we had many 98 and 99% folks early on. Although I can't really complain because I probably got further than I did in that tournament because of that, but eh.
Yeah, same here.
But goodness, that was definitely an interesting race. It started off in an unexpected way, and it just kind of kept throwing a lot of curveballs and surprises. But Monkey, you pulled it out. You pulled it out.
Mm-hmm.
And you also did not get any wave core doubles.
I know. I was so pissed off. You know what? I gotta make it up for everyone. We're doing it.
No, Monkey, don't you load to stay state and do it now. It's not count. It's gotta be in a run. You're gonna have to do it next race.
No.
Yes.
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 Sorry,
No.
Monkey.
We don't make
You
the
gotta do it
rules.
next
It's just
time.
how it is.
No.
Yes.
You've not truly done it until you've done it in a run.
All right. Do we know if Dan React wants to come in and say a few words as well? I've completely lost control of my browser. Where'd it go? But yeah, let's see now. But Monkey, I mean, aside from the obvious, pretty glaring hiccups there, how'd you feel about that run? Like, did you feel pretty good about your movement, about your boss fights?
After the beginning, it was actually a really solid run after the first couple, probably like the first like 30 minutes. Specifically the screw attack split was really good, even with the English text, and I was comparing against JP splits. I still golded by 7 seconds. Like, it was a really good split.
Nice. And you got 2 doubles on that Ridley Core X as well, which was
Yeah.
we were kind of hoping you get the triple double, because that's no small feat.
Mhm.
It looks like React's unfortunately having a little bit of trouble with his Discord. We were having trouble with somebody else with this the other day. Still
Where's the real dot done?
I didn't see what you did, so whatever it is that I didn't count.
Oh yeah, this front had a 502 morph. It was really good.
Dang, actually, it's pretty good, yeah. But I'm not sure how to fix the thing in Discord, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get React in here this time. Next, do you know how to fix that?
I honestly don't understand what his problem is, so I definitely can't help right now.
Dang it. But we can at least talk a little bit about what's this means for the next week and the next set of rounds. With Monkey's win today,
I get to race Destructor.
You do in fact get to race Destructor.
So that means I gotta get good in the next week. Which is good, because I have spring break this week, so...
Oh, dang, you better be...
Expect 46 by Friday. That's a lie, by the way. Don't expect that.
Too late, you already said it.
Fuck. Oh, this is speedy. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, I'm gonna get banned. My bad.
It's okay, I think no one probably heard you. But let's see. But then Dan React is going to be drop us down into losers, and we'll be facing off against TG Revenge. Starting off next week.
That'll be an interesting race. I think both have 56s, so. Yeah,
the two of them are seated very close. So I think Revenge actually has also been working to improve his time. So I think that could definitely shape it to be a good, close, fun race. And React getting a time consistent with his PB, getting a 56. So nicely done, React.
Both of us tied our PB. That's pretty sick.
So hey, that consistency, like I said, it's very important in Fusion racing, because you can get a good time once, great, but you can keep getting a good time. That's how you know you're improving.
Yeah, that race was really scary. I'm not gonna lie. I was really nervous after I loaded the save state because I was like 4 minutes behind. But
Yeah,
I was worried because I was like, oh wait, nobody's updating me on how far behind or ahead I am, and then all of a sudden I was ahead.
yeah. It was you were Reactor was staying ahead of you up until the Yakuza fight where you both had didn't finish it off in 2 rounds, but then you got doubles on the core, and he had to struggle to get greens to cough up green X's to refill missiles. So
Yeah, that Yakuza core was really scary. I almost died. I think I was 2 hits away.
yeah, you were. I want to say at 56 health when the core X fight started, but. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we can't seem to get React's microphone working, so I don't think we're going to be able to pull him in here. But absolutely GG's to him, though. He did a great job. Was playing very well, managing to match his PB. But the victory goes to Monkey. So, we got any final words for us, Monkey? Any other smack talk for your upcoming opponent, or words for your adoring fans?
So, one, wave core doubles will happen this tournament. I guarantee you that I will get one during some race at some point. Guarantee it. And 2, shoutouts to couple people. Lost Llama, he's a cool guy. Scotty, he's a really good player, also a cool guy. Rasu, he sucks. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. That's you definitely. I asked for words, and you definitely delivered. But coming up next on Speed Gaming 2, we hope you like Metroid because we have continuation of the Super Metroid random category tournament. Which you haven't been watching that. It's actually been a very entertaining watch. You get 2 top quality runners facing off in a category that is literally random. It could be any percent. It could be low percent ice. It could be GT code, or it could even be double anti bingo. We don't know. So it's always a good time, always good gameplay. And as far as Fusion is concerned, I want to say we don't have any more Fusion until Sunday.
Sunday at 3, and then at 4, and then at 8. All EST.
Okay, those have not been put on the Speed Gaming schedule yet, but it looks like it's just a matter, they've been submitted, just haven't been approved yet. So look forward to more Fusion on Sunday, and then starting soon after that, the second round, more Fusion. So this tournament is far from over. There's still a lot more races to go.
I think we're maybe about to get React in here.
Oh, did we get him? Yes.
What's up, React?
Yo.
GG.
Gotta manage to get that microphone thing worked out.
That was weird.
So you managed to tie your PB, so you were playing pretty well there, actually. So how'd you feel about your run?
I practiced the beginning so much because I reset a lot. I need to not do that. So my ending was really bad, and I was also just choking more towards the end. The box fight and all that was the worst I think I've ever had. The time. I was pretty happy with the beginning though, except on Saris when I messed that up.
Yeah, it looks like Sarah's was giving you a hard time there, but you managed to pull it out, and you managed to actually keep a lead for over half the game there, so you were definitely doing well.
Yeah, I messed up my start too, and then I looked down and saw that he messed up his, so I was like, oh, I maybe I'll hold a chance for a little while here.
Slight understatement. By the way, one more shout out to Scrub for being washed up. Alright.
A second time.
That's just an insult.
It's like,
When is the return?
Oh gosh.
I feel like I can get my time down a lot. I just need to do more runs. But like I could definitely probably get to more like 54, 53, just with a better ending.
Awesome. I don't doubt that for a second. And we're coming next week. We're gonna be facing off against TG Revenge. So
Third times. Should be fun.
yeah, absolutely. So hopefully, look forward to seeing you continue to improve and just see a fantastic race next week. Got any? But do you have any final thoughts? Any other words? Any thing of that sort?
Monkey.
What?
Dang it,
Right.
Monkey!
I'm not paying attention. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, that sure was an awkward silence. But like we said, we got Super Metroid coming up next here in less than 10 minutes. So we're going to be prepared to hand it off to the fine Super Metroid folks. But again, GG to both Monkey and React. Give them both a follow. They did a great job. And
Sorry.
yes, thank you.
Shout outs to Crunchy and Next Gen. They did commentary and they were pretty good at it.
Well, we wouldn't be able to do it if you guys didn't give us some great gameplay to talk over. So
I feel like we should mention too, for the rest of this we have 3 matches scheduled for this tournament, and the next 3 are all scheduled for Sunday. So have a lot of Metroid Fusion to look forward to on Sunday.
Good.
And those matches are the first one, which is at 3 p.m. Eastern, is Honors versus Resrin. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern, so overlapping a little bit, is Boxmeister versus Phazon Knight. And finally at 8 p.m. is Mr. Shasta versus Next Gen Gamer 9, aka me.
Oh, dang, versus Shasta. You got your work cut out for you then.
Yeah. Gonna have to work really hard to get the win that time in that race.
But no, all 3 of those sound like they're going to be good matchups, so Sunday is going to be a very good day for Fusion. But so that's something to look forward to. But before Fiesel comes in here and forcibly removes us all, I think we should, that's going to do it for us and for Fusion for tonight, I think, though. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks everyone for hanging around. Yeah, it was a good race.